everyone. Welcome back to Not Just a Home Thing, a podcast by Two Pages, where we talk about home, healing, and growth. I'm Natalie. Today, my guest is Emily Tucker. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh my God. She's founder of Emily Tucker Design and known for creating homes that feel colorful, personal, and deeply connect to people who live in them. In this episode, we are talking about something so cool. Emily recently just finished designing and building a vacation home for herself and her family. So we will explore what it's like when a designer becomes her own client and how a house slowly becomes a home and what personalized design really means beyond just choosing colors of furniture. Let's do a quick little rapid fire. Vintage or brand new?
Vintage,
Okay, colorful room or white walls?
colorful always.
Oh, mountains or beach?
Mountains,
Oh, morning person or night person?
morning.
Okay, same. And designing for client or designing for yourself?
I love it both. I love them both, so I can't choose one.
Okay, cool. I have to start with your vacation home. I'm so curious. I feel so cool and so fun. Oh my God. And I saw the video you post on Instagram. Wow.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just finished shooting it. I guess that was just last week. But yeah, so we're finally, I feel like a project is really finished when you take the photos. So yeah, we just finished it.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful and so colorful.
It's so colorful.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I'm curious, when you become your own client, were you your dream client? Are you the most difficult client?
I mean, I think I'm my dream client because I don't have, like, I know there's a lot of good options out there. I'm happy to take the best one that's in front of me at the moment. And I can make decisions really fast. I knew what I wanted it to look and feel like. And I knew what my budget were. I knew what my parameters were for our family. So it was pretty easy to make decisions and get things done.
Okay, that's so cool. I can get you. Sometimes be clear what you want is really important for the whole process. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's hard. It's easy for me to be in my own head. I already know what I like and what I'm drawn to and what I'm comfortable with. And I think sometimes clients who aren't really familiar with design styles and taste and all of the different like things that are available, they have a hard time articulating what they want and what they like.
Mm.
So I feel like that's always the biggest barrier when we're working with clients of like trying to really get in there and understand what they're hoping for out of their home. But
Mm.
with me, I knew what I wanted, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Okay, so did your family have a like make decision or you make?
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
They're very grateful to have a house that was designed by me, and they did not have any say. The only thing my husband asked for was a lot of color, which was an
Oh,
easy one to do.
so which is your favorite color?
In the house,
Yeah.
I mean, our kitchen is eggplant purple, and like the whole thing is eggplant purple, and I do love the way that that turned out. But I mean, we literally have every color of the rainbow represented, so I can't
Mhm.
just choose one.
Yeah, yeah. Since I this is my 10th episode. I asked several designer which is your favorite color. They just, oh, it's crazy. How can I only choose one?
I can't choose one color. There's too many good ones out there.
Yeah. And so, what is the most Emily thing in your home?
I mean, it's all very me. I think there's so many, like, it's just very collected. There's a lot of stuff that I had bought years ago. Like, I have a runner in our bunk room that I bought when I was in my 20s living in LA. I have like just so many collected things over here, like that dresser behind me. I bought at auction like probably 5 years ago that I just like loved it and I bought it. Like there's just every part of it is just like a little bit collected and tells a story of, where I've come from and things that I'm drawn to. We do have a stenciled, like a hand painted stencil railing up the stairs that me and my oldest son designed together. So I feel like that's the most like personal part of the house. But I mean, all of it is just
Oh my
like, it's a
God.
little over the top for the mountains, but I love it.
That's so nice. So you say that a home is a reflection of who we are, a compilation of everything we've seen and done. I love that. And when you look at your own vacation home, what part of your life do you see reflected there?
I feel like it's kind of a timeline of like my design taste. Like I said, I have so many things in this house that I've collected for like over, that are 10 or 15 years old that I've just been hanging on to. I mean, actually, but yeah, like 15 years old, I think is like the oldest thing in here that I have owned. Like there's a lot of things that are older, but I feel like it kind of is like my history of design taste and everything kind of found a home here. So it feels like, yeah, it feels like a little bit of my history. And then, and also kind of, I would say it's not necessarily a nod to the mountains because it's not super Colorado. It's not like American West mountains, but it has kind of like a Swiss mountain feel, especially in the architecture of it. And it's a very Spartan, the architecture is very Spartan, and very simple, but it just has like a lot of personality and warmth within the spaces. And I feel like that's kind of me. I'm kind of cold on the outside when you first meet me, but when you get to know me, I've got a lot of pizzazz, as one says. So I feel like the house is kind of a reflection of that.
Oh, really? Are you a cold person? I don't feel so.
I am, yes. I mean, no, I'm not really a cold person. I'm like I love people. I love meeting people. But I've gotten the feedback that I'm very intimidating and hard to talk to. So I think people meet me and they're like, "Oh, don't talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to you." Even though that's probably not true.
Your design, oh my God, is so colorful. I can feel you're so warm, like warm person, not a cold person. I can feel. I just know, like.
Oh, thanks.
Oh. And I'm curious, if your home could text you, what would I say? Hi, cold person.
I would say, "Come over. I have snacks."
When you say personalized design, I feel like it goes much deeper than just asking someone what color or style they like. What are you really trying to understand about a family before you design for them?
I really like to know a family's history, what they're interested in, how they like to live. I think we've heard about it all over social media. Like there's like this epidemic of beige of like you walk into a home or you look at pictures of a home and it looks like anybody could live there. Like it doesn't have any special thing about it that makes it sing for the people who inhabit the space. And I really want people to walk into a home and know who lives there and understand where they come from and what they're interested in and how they like to live. I really try to dig deep with, and also really honor the architecture of the houses that they're in. I think there's an instinct for a lot of people to make sure that their spaces feel like trendy or cool, or they want like the newest thing that they've seen on Instagram or on TikTok. And I don't think that that's always the right choice. I think it's really important to design your home and have a lot of respect for the architecture and the style of the building that it's in. So I try to make sure that that also is reflected in the design. And I think that also just leads to a more personalized space because it's reflective of so many different parts of the owner.
So in a project, how do you know when to listen and when to gently push a client toward a better decision?
I will always push. I think most clients want to be pushed. They wouldn't have hired a designer if they didn't. It's, anybody could walk into like Restoration Hardware and hire their design team to put together a furniture program and put together an order and get their house done. But I think most clients hire a designer because they want another point of view. They want to get the best version of their house. So I always push clients. I listen very closely to what they're saying and what they're not saying. A lot of times what they don't say is really as valuable as what they are saying. And then when they feel they've been pushed far enough, I will step back and make sure they are comfortable. I don't want somebody to be in a house that they're like, "Ugh, this was not what I wanted and my designer forced me to do this." I want them to really love their home. So I push them to a point and then make sure that they're overall really happy with the decisions that have been made.
Mm-hmm. In general, what the most thing your client want? Like any specific, which kind of feeling in general they really want for their home?
I mean, I feel like most clients just want a space that feels really comfortable and not too precious. It depends on the clients, though. Like, we have clients that really entertain all the time and they want their house to be really spectacular and really, really like a vibe. They really want it to like set the mood for a party. And then we also have clients who never entertain and it's just for their family. But most of the time, people want a house that really functions well for how they're going to use it, and that's always our top priority. Like, obviously it's going to be beautiful. We're never going to select something that we think is not going to work, aesthetically, but I really want the houses to function well, and so I think that's always our overarching goal.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's fun. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot of different personalities, a lot of different people involved. So it's a process. I think that really one of the best parts of this job is really getting to know our clients. That's a very intimate relationship. You spend years with these people in and out of their homes. You meet their families, you know how they live, you know how they sleep, how they like to bathe, like all of those things. You just learn so much about people, and I love their quirks and their like little idiosyncrasies that they have. So I love all of it. I'm here for all of it. But yeah, we have clients that are like really, really particular about rugs and patterns and upholstery and wood finishes and ceramics. Some people hate ceramics. Some people only like glass. Like, it's just, there's all sorts of weird quirks that people have, but that's what makes us all different and unique.
You live and work across California, like New York, and now Boulder, right?
Yes, we live in Boulder.
Okay. So do you feel like each place shape a different part of your design eye?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, like, Southern California has such a strong mid-century modern history, especially in the architecture there. My father's an architect. We spent a lot of hours and days of my childhood touring Frank Lloyd Wright houses and like the case study houses up in the Hollywood Hills. Like, I spent a lot of time looking and being in just like these really incredible mid-century and modern homes. And so I have a lot of that aesthetic has sort of informed my own personal taste. And then my family is from the East Coast, and I spent every summer with my grandmother from like 10 to 16, basically. And she has very traditional, like traditional East Coast preppy taste. And so I was always in her homes, and she had like canopy beds and trim on pillows and that kind of thing. So I also have a really deep love for super, super traditional design. And California has kind of an ease of living, like you're in and out. You don't, nothing is really, there aren't really precious materials. Everything is sort of, you can touch everything and you can wipe it all down, and sand is in the house, and it's all, just part of the way you live. And in New York, everything is much more refined. It's just a lot more formal. And I love that. I love that different aesthetic too. And I think each part of them have their place in the world and in homes. So yeah, I think every place I've been, everywhere I've lived, every home I've ever been in, I think informs my taste.
Oh, so why you choose Boulder?
Oh, just because it's a really nice place to live.
Oh.
It's a really great place to raise a family. It's a fairly small town. We have a university in Boulder where I went to school. And so that keeps it kind of lively. There's, a lot of music that comes through. There's a lot of interesting artists and speakers that come through CU. And it's just a really nice place. It's just easy.
Oh, how about temperature? Like, mountain temperature should be better than.
Oh my God, it's so pleasant. It's so lovely. We have 4 seasons. The winters are we have more sunny days than Florida in Colorado, so it's really sunny here. So even in like January, in the dead of winter, there's snow on the ground, but we're skiing and we're outside, and it's just a really easy place to live.
Wow, I'm so jealous. Wow. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's great. I don't miss California, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So that's the reason you mix classic design with modern life so beautifully. I can feel from your like family background.
Yeah, it's very much informed by how I was brought up in the places that I was in as a small child.
Mm.
Yeah, and I love traditional design. I think traditional design is always going to be classic. I've never walked into a traditional home and been like, this is, 1996. Like it looks like it could be anytime, anywhere. And I love the versatility of it. And so I'm always, and it's so layered. Like there's so many patterns and colors and textures, and every little element is considered in traditional design. There's so much millwork and just like trim details and hardware details in traditional design. So I feel like it's just a really nice style to work in because it just gives you so much freedom to really add as much flair as you can.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what's one old school design idea you still love and one modern need every home has today?
I just like love trim and textiles. I feel like traditional design always has that, and I love textiles. I think they can really tell such a strong story within a home. We do a lot of traditional designs for in like very traditional homes, and we'll like totally gut them and rebuild them for modern life. So I think it's just using some of those traditional details and again just making sure that everything you're choosing really functions for your life. And sometimes that is just like spatial planning and layout. Like maybe it's just that you have a big kitchen island. Like islands were not a part of like, 1920s, 30s, 40s houses. But everybody has a kitchen island now because they're so functional and it's a great place to work and have people sit and have the kitchen be the heart of the home. So I feel like stuff like that, but maybe you'll pick up a cabinet style that's very traditional, but you incorporate sort of some of those modern elements to make it function for everyday modern life.
What's the like funnest place, the fun place you ever found inspiration?
I mean, a lot of times my kids' art, like they make the weirdest stuff and paintings and color combinations at school. And I'm always drawn to that. I think it's really interesting the colors that they put together without thinking about it. So I would say that. And then, I don't know, I look around everywhere, like inside of like old book binding paper, I think is so cool. Old rugs, old buildings, and like, weird patterns or stencils that they would have on like friezes and just different parts of old architecture I'm always looking at.
If you have unlimited budget, what's the most ridiculous thing you put in your dream home?
Oh my God. Probably just like vintage Murano glass everywhere, lighting, if I could, and I didn't have kids throwing balls inside my house. There's so much beauty in the world, and I think, they come from so many different places, and sometimes the beautiful things are so much more expensive, but I think you can find really beautiful things that aren't super pricey. I'm a big auction hound. I buy stuff at auction all the time. Like every day I'm watching auctions and seeing what comes up for sale, and you can get some deals on auctions, let me tell you.
Since you have three kids and some of them still very young, but you really love design your home, how it's gonna like work since
Since they're destructive animals. I think a lot of it is just like making sure we're being smart about the choices that we make. Like we have a beautiful sofa, especially like here in the mountains, but it has a performance fabric on it. And so I don't worry about my kids climbing up there with like, a wet bathing suit or just being a little bit dirty and grungy. Everything is really cleanable. We use a lot of natural fibers like wools and cottons and linens and things like that. Things that just can that stand the test of time and can be cleaned and are really durable. I also really like incorporating vintage things into my own personal space. Not every client loves vintage. I do. My granddad used to say that they were pre-antiqued. Like whenever my kids would mess something up at their house, or I would mess something up when I was a kid at his house, he would say like, "Oh, it's just getting it. You're just antiquing it." And I kind of love that mentality of like, it's not that precious. It's already old. It's already been through a lot. So I think if you have things that already have a little patina to them, then your kid kicking it with their shoe and making a little ding it's not going to ruin the piece. It's already got dings and scratches. So I kind of love old things for young families.
any moment like make you feel, oh, it's not just a like project, it's not just a house, it's my home. Any small moment?
I feel like just, my kids love what I do, and I think they're so interested in it. They're so curious that whenever I'm picking stuff out, they're like, I want to see that. I want to pick that out with you. Like, the light fixtures in the house when I was like shopping for them, I would be laying in bed next to them and like, Brady, what do you think of this one? Or, what do you think of this light fixture? What fabric do you like for the window shades in your room? So I like to have them kind of like weigh in on what they think. Ultimately I make the, the final choice, but I like having their opinions kind of laced into everything that we have in our home.
For this room, you share with us, it's green. The main color is green, right?
Yeah, I would say it's mostly green. We have a green rug and the trim is painted green, and like the headboard has like green and beige and yellow. Um, the first thing I had in this room was the dresser, and it has kind of like a botanical print on it with a lot of like green leaves and stuff. And originally it was going to be like green and yellow, but it just felt too much. So everything just comes together as it's supposed to.
Oh, that's so cool. Like you pretty understand what you want and make it become daily life. And I
Yeah.
feel the green color is so summer. Oh my God. So mountain, summer, vacation, family.
Yeah, and the view out the window is like just green trees.
Wow.
So the view I'm looking at right now past my computer screen. So it's nice to have that kind of like that deep, forest evergreen color reflected in the room.
Oh, that's cool. So why choose like purple for your kitchen?
I just really liked it. I thought it was a really cool color. It is not a color that you see in nature up here, so it kind of has that cool juxtaposition between the indoors and the outdoors. There was a beautiful tile sample that I had at my office, and I just thought, why not? And I had proposed green or purple to a few clients over the years, and they were all like, no,
Oh.
absolutely not. I'm not going to have a purple kitchen. And I was like, it could be really cool. Like, I think it's going to be awesome. And everybody was like, yeah, no, I'm not living with an eggplant purple kitchen. So I became my own guinea pig, and it's
Oh,
awesome
why most people say no? I feel it's cool.
because most people, everybody's always worried they're going to get sick of it. Like, I feel like that's something I hear a lot. Like, am I going to get sick of this? And I don't get sick of colors. So it was an easy choice for me to make.
Okay, that's cool. How many color like in your home?
In this home,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got all of the trim in the house is painted yellow. We've got a purple kitchen. The
Wow.
rug in the living room is yellow, brown, and red. We have a navy blue sofa in the living room. The mudroom is like terracotta orange. The powder room is blue wallpaper with a yellow ceiling and a red light. The stair runner has a yellow railing and a green printed runner. My bedroom, the bunk room is like a red, like cherry red, with like vintage runners in there that are all sorts of colors. My bedroom is like blue and brown and gray and beige and orange. There's like a little hint of orange in the window treatment fabric. My bathroom is like ochre brown tile. I mean, like literally every color. We have all the colors. I love browns.
Oh my God.
A lot of people don't like brown. I do. So there's a lot. I mean, we literally have every color, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Like we got them all.
Wow, I'm so jealous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so fun. Like,
It is fun, and it makes the house feel really lively and alive. Like I think, you think about, I mean, because we have seasons here, like the winter is very
oh
gray.
yeah.
It's white and gray and brown and blue, and those are kind of all the colors you get. And then springtime rolls around and everybody wants to be outside and go for bike rides and be together and go to the river, and like there's so much to do outside, and everybody gets so excited because there's all these colors around again. And
Wow.
so I kind of like home, at least I like my home to have that. I like it to feel really lively.
Of course. Oh my God. How many years you spent to design the whole thing, to finish whole thing?
Oh, it's less than a year. It took less than a year.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, so professional.
I mean, we were moving fast and I didn't have a lot of time to sit and waffle on things. And I kind of knew what I wanted.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't take long. But then again, I'm always adding things. Like every time we come up here, I'm bringing like a stool or I just bought a coat rack yesterday. Like there's just like random stuff that I'm like buying and bringing up.
What's the first motivation? Like you said, oh, I want my own house with so many color, with like my own design. Like when you have this kind of idea.
I think I just wanted to have a place where I could test things out to kind of see like how many colors you could get into a house without it feeling like a clown lived there. So it's always, I think most designers, their own home is kind of like their testing ground. And there were a few ideas that I wanted to try out here. Like I have patchwork wallpaper in my bedroom of like it's like 6 different wallpapers that we cut into, not me, but the wallpaper hanger cut into cut into pieces and patched on the wall. And that was an idea that I'd had for a while. And it's hard to convince somebody to do that. It's like, it's just not easy to do. And then there's like local artists in town that I really love and admire. And so there were some collaborations with them to create like the drapes in the living room are a local artist hand dyed all of the linen for them with botanicals from our property and her property. So that, there were so many things that I wanted to try out. It's my little test plot.
Okay, wow, 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 wow. Cool and so fun. Oh my gosh. For the final question, I love for you to finish this sentence.
Okay.
A home is not complete until what?
Until you have somebody living there.
I love the answer. Yeah, Emily, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun to talk about my work.
Yeah, oh my God. Cool and so colorful, so fun.
Thank you.
And I feel like this conversation was such a beautiful reminder that home is serious, but it also doesn't have to be too serious. It can have color. It could be fun.
For sure.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe a home is not complete when every pillow is in the right place. Maybe it become complete when it began to hold you everyday life. The quiet
Exactly.
morning, the messy moment, the people you love, and all the little things that make it yours.
Correct.
Yeah, and thank you all for listening to Not Just a Home Thing from Two Pages. I hope today's episode inspire you to look around your own space and ask what story is your home telling. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a comment and please share it with someone you think would love this conversation. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.